It is my great pleasure today to stand here in front of you and share with you my vision of where it is going. Where is what going? What is it? Where did it start? So, let me go back to where it started. So I'm delighted that my very dear friend, Igor Saviliev, is sitting there. Igor is a brilliant mind, a brilliant businessman who has built a number of businesses, including making Mr. Wrigley even more billions than he had to start with. And we were sitting and we were chatting in Dubai one day, and I said to Igor, there is opportunity here, and I see that there are going to be clients. People will want to source from one professional. They don't want to go to everybody else. They have trust in a professional. They want to source, and they want to source as many services as possible from one professional. How do we do that? Is there a way that we could do this? And we were putting our heads together. We managed to sort of come up with some thoughts. And that's the time when one of our clients from the Dubai office came, and that lovely Italian gentleman, his name was Pietro Terenza. Pietro came and he said, guys, I've been your client for some time. This firm is exactly what will people need, my clients will need. I have 3 offices. I really want to do a collaboration with you. I want to do a cooperation with you. Can we do that? I said, well, fine, why not? He was so happy. Then he put me in a plane. From London, I flew all the way to a very remote village in Italy, where I met with one of his friends. His friend was Roberto Carciolo. Roberto, still a very, very dear friend of mine. He was an accountant. He said, I have a problem. Well, I said, I don't. I've come here to eat nice pasta. So tell me, what are we going to do together? So he said, that will do. He took me to a very beautiful restaurant close by, where the owner was a lovely lady. She didn't ask me what I wanted to eat. First the Prosecco started to flow, and I don't know how much. And then she started cooking, and she cooked and we ate, and she cooked and we ate. And I then said to Roberto, we haven't spoken about business yet. He said, that comes later. That's how networking is done. There was not a word of business said. But once we sat down, he said, I have 12 offices. He said, my client is Prada. So someone who is in a small village called Udine, about 60 kilometers from your lovely Venice, he has a client, Prada. And he said, I am servicing Prada, and I keep opening offices. They go to Moscow, I open an office. They go to Romania, I open an office. He said, now I have 11 offices, one client. If they tomorrow just say, thank you very much, he said, what am I going to do? So, you already have now 4 or 5 offices. Why don't I put my 11, 12 with you? And now this starts to become a network. So these are the beginnings. So the questions that I and Igor and our other friends at that time were asking, how do we serve, it was starting to be answered all by itself. So we're starting to build a small network. Before we know, that turns into 50 offices and then 150 offices. And that's where we're starting to now look seriously at the future. So looking at the future, where is it all going, is really what we are here to think about today. As professionals, where is your business going tomorrow? And I'm delighted to see that Efthymios is sitting here, my dear friend. Efthymios was a part of the first Adam Global meeting that we did in Dubai, along with some others. And stories from that evening are plentiful, but they are for another time. So that was the most fantastic time we had together, and here today, I'm delighted to say that Efthymios held the last meeting in Greece, and we are here today. So we are friends. So I'm delighted to say there are more friends here, and I hope that others will become friends. Now, let's start talking about where is your business going. That's the key. That's why we're all here. We're here to find out where is your business going. So there is a gentleman who wrote in the 70s. His name was Cyrus Freedom. He wrote a book which says the $1 trillion enterprise. And you know what that $1 trillion enterprise was? We are going back at the time when only the accountants had the real networks. The lawyers had just started to think about it. They hadn't really got into the swing of things. So this is where he said the future of professional services is worth trillions of dollars, and I see that by 2020 there are going to be networks of professionals that will be delivering services. If done properly, it's worth trillions of dollars. And now we know today that only the big four, their revenues are in hundreds of billions. Just the one part. Then came another a young man. He is a lawyer, and I think many of you will know this guy. His name is Stephen McGarry. He wrote this book in 2015 when he was already a very successful entrepreneur, when he already had built the networks. So Lex Mundi was one of the network that he built. The World Services Group was another one of the network group that he built. Between just these two, they were looking at almost 3% of all the network's turnover from those two groups. So he got excited, and he is now starting to say, where does this go? Having built a very good network, and again, hg.org is another one of his inventions. So this guy is now really a rich guy. Okay? So your network is your net worth. So he's already shown that. Okay? Now we look at the future and the trends. So all the research, and this is research done by some of the very credible companies like the McKinseys and like the Boston Groups and the others, on where is the future of professional services. So the professional services, now we just take out the law as particular because it's easy, so they've done research on the law networks. It says that all of the companies, all of the law companies in the future are going to have network models, all of them. Technology is going to drive this. So it is not going to be only face-to-face, but technology is going to drive this. And we'll talk about that technology. 10% of all of you, the lawyer's income in the future, is going to come from more than 3 jurisdiction contracts. More than 3 jurisdiction contracts. Today, your business is not producing that much of 3 jurisdiction contracts, but this is by 2025, they're predicting, as soon as that there will be changes and we'll be going in that direction. There will be only 4 dominant law networks within the next 10 to 15 years. All of the inactive law networks will die. They are dying already. They are dying very rapidly. Those that are not going to join hands, not going to build up, they are all going to die. In another 10, 15 years, the only 4 independent law firm networks will survive. Therefore, all of the less active have to consolidate. They have to now do consolidation for them to go forward to survive in the future. Examples are here. We have big players. There's Caledonian. They have already changed their model from being large firms. They're already merging with the park and created the Caledonian Park LLP. Then, Eversheds, one of the largest firm in the world, law firm in the world, they have gone on to the networking model. So they are now a network. And again, they have already joined up with Sutherland. But their now model is of a network rather than of the previous structure of owning all of it together. Here are some of the thoughts that those professionals shared with the surveyors. So it says, one of them says, the big clients are moving towards using one-stop shop global service providers. The profession will have to keep in line with that. This was 10 years ago. This was 10 years ago. They said, I think we need to stop being overly polite and learn to be business people. As lawyers, accountants, professionals, we are all polite and humble and don't want to say the bad word, M word, the money word. But you are not going to survive unless that is in the business. And lastly, here's the chief executive of a global consultancy company saying, I think the entire range of middle-sized practice by about from about 25 to 100 people will be gone. There will be no mid-sized companies left. And we'll end up with two very distinct types of practices. Very large and boutique. Next please. So, we know that the future is in collaboration. Your client wants to source it from one point. They want one provider to give you everything because they become now very spoiled. They can afford it. They call the shots. And for them, everything is on this one screen. They want it there. They don't want to come to your office. They want all that service on that screen. So we, as the largest platform in the world, are saying that your screen is my office. And that's where technology we have to take, and we have already adapted that technology. Networks, by definition, they are networks. They are not providers of business. So for us to start to say that you're going to get lots of leads out of Adam Global, I think we then should go home. We'd finish this conference and we go home. Leads are given to you by people sitting next to you, by people that are going to be in contact with you, not by the network. Network only provides a platform, and the platform is just a small part here. That's where you do the dance. As the people who are the members of the network, you do the dance. We provide the platform. You do a bad dance, you get lots of boos, we lose our face, and nobody comes. Nobody buys our tickets anymore. You do a fantastic dance, we get lots of claps, we get sold out shows, and we can all put our fees up. So, it's all about the platform, the technology that is going to drive these platforms. Look back over the previous decade. All of the billion-dollar companies, they're all platforms. Look at them. LinkedIn, Alibaba. Look at your Facebook. All of the billion-dollar companies generated in the last 10 years are not construction, they are not manufacturing, they are platforms. We all come together, we have an opportunity. So, all I want to say, you have a platform, it's your platform. Please use it. And fine, next. Go back. So I want to share with you an example. There's a guy called Joshua Bell. Anyone knows about Joshua Bell? Right? This is the guy who owns a $15 million violin. Now does it ring a bell? One of the world's most renowned violinists. His name is Joshua Bell.